Been a long time, yes.
How come?
So there's a myriad reasons. Part of it is that I don't think Formula One was really interested in or investing in women. And so for decades, I think that was part of the story. The other part of it is, I think, a broader issue, right? Before we even get started, we need to mention that this is not, travel soccer or even Little League baseball. This is an extremely cost prohibitive sport. And so that in and of itself limits the people who can participate. And even if you can muster the resources to participate, it greatly affects how long you can participate in the sport. So I think that's a huge part of it as well. And that's something that affects everyone.
Yeah. Talk to me then about this F1 Academy, how it started and what it is supposed to be doing.
So just to give you some brief history, there was a league that preceded F1 Academy called the W Series, and that tried to address the very financial concerns that I just hinted at. That lasted from 2019 to 2022. It ultimately essentially filed for bankruptcy. F1 Academy sort of emerges as the W Series is folding, and it's trying to essentially create a pipeline for women at the point where they tend to struggle most in their motorsports careers, which is in that sort of F4, F3 regional window as they're transitioning from karting. So they're trying to provide resources. It's not quite the same as W Series, but they have substantial backing from Formula One and Formula One's owner, Liberty Media, to try to provide the resources to create this pipeline for women to succeed in the sport, or at least elevate a bit further.
Right. And that gets me to the business model of this thing, right? Liberty Media is a business. F1 is a business. We've all seen Drive to Survive on Netflix. And if you haven't, you should check it out because it's super interesting. But it's all guys, right? It's all male drivers. And now comes F1 Academy at a time when women's sports are really hot. Women's soccer, women's basketball with Caitlin Clark. I mean, this is truly a business opportunity if they do it right.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's a huge part of this story, is that over the last decade, Formula One has grown exponentially. And a big part of that is women who are fueling that growth. They make up 42% of Formula One's fan base, and young women specifically make up its fastest growing demographic within that fan base. So, yeah, I mean, part of this is, and F1 CEO Stefano Domenicali will say as much, part of this is in response to people asking these questions. Right. Where are the female drivers? Why don't I see greater representation?
All right, so put up or shut up a question. Do you think this is going to work? I mean, it's going to take years, but do you think it's going to work?
I would say I'm cautiously hopeful, cautiously optimistic.
All right, fair enough. Glenn Hill at the Washington Post. Good piece on women in F1. Glenn, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Marketplace is supported by Amazon Business, focused on offering smart business buying solutions, leaving time to focus on growth. More at AmazonBusiness.com. And by JLL, helping clients unlock real estate possibilities across industries, from data centers to life sciences labs. JLL.com. JLL, see a brighter way. And by Barron's Streetwise podcast, hosted by Barron's Associate Editor Jack Howe, offering insights each week on business leaders and trend spotters, available everywhere.
This final note on the way out today, a follow-up to the item last week about Postmaster Louis DeJoy saying the Postal Service isn't going to raise rates this coming January, saying, and this is a quote, "Our strategies are working and projected inflation is declining." Well, not so fast. Saw this on CNN that according to paperwork submitted to the Postal Regulatory Commission, starting next July, the price of first-class postage is going to go up twice a year, provided regulators agree. So what do you think? $1 for a first-class stamp in a couple of years? John Buckley, John Gordon, Noya Carr, Diantha Parker, Amanda Peacher, and Stephanie Seek are the Marketplace editing staff. Amir Babawe is the managing editor, and I'm Kai Rizdal. We will see you tomorrow, everybody. This is APM.